What's whooping, people? We got this piece of crap Chevy Equinox, GMC Terrain, same thing, anything with the 2.4 where you have a broken exhaust flex pipe down on the bottom. I'm going to show you how to cheap and dirty fix this thing with something that will last, that'll get you down the road so you have a little bit more dough in your booty hole. Yeah, it snorts pretty loud. Playboy's gonna make you proud. Show you how to do this. So our flex pipe down here has been broken. We cut it out a couple days ago. We took this 2 1/4 9-inch piece of pipe, shoved it in between there and there to keep it a little bit quieter. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't as bad until we could order some cheap stuff off the internet and possibly put it in there. Could have probably ran with this for a while, but after like a week, it did blow out of place. So I'm going to show you how to fix this cheaply and affordably. Ultimately, I do end up using a 10-inch, 2.5-inch flex pipe on this. However, it probably would have been better to use a 6 or an 8-inch. So you can look down in the description below and see what worked best for most people that are doing this job. My name's Clay with the Clay Way here in Grand Rapids, Muskegon, Michigan. If this video is helpful, please consider subscribing, clicking the notification, sharing my videos. Me them sweet old thumbs up. If you've got a question for me and it's not baby mama drama related, you can look me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook Messenger. I answer questions for absolutely free, or at least a try.
Some men you just can't reach. At least that's what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he got it.
Only been doing this for about 30 years. I don't know everything, but we can probably figure it out together. Remember, no matter what it is in life, if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. Don't be the next to them, be the very first to you. Let's get going with this video. To fix this correctly and affordably without a welder, 2.5 ID, 2.5 OD stainless steel clamps. Look in the description below for them. Now we're gonna need a flexible pipe to fit in between them two pipes. Real tool you're gonna need, other than some normal sockets and such, is a Sawzall. And possibly a lighter in case we have to burn this thing down. You should always have a lighter because you never know when you're gonna have to burn something down. No, I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm talking about people's buildings. You never know when somebody's gonna piss you off and you're gonna have to burn their building down, so you should always carry a lighter. You people. Now the reason that flexes is obviously you can tell that that transition is not straight right there. On the opposite side over here, we've got a hanger. If you cut that hanger up along here, that's going to leave you a little gnarl right here. Then you grind this down. You could reuse this hanger with the muffler clamp. Okay, so we got Vincenzo underneath here with a Sawzall. By the way, he is my soon-to-be son-in-law, soon-to-be after that ex-son-in-law. And he loves making videos with Clay, his soon-to-be ex-father-in-law. Someday, maybe father-in-law. Who really knows what he's going to do, but he's going to cut this crap off of here for us. Excellent work, Vincenzo. Did a good job cutting it off of there. And now we just got to grind it down a little bit so we've got flush mounting area. And he left that little angle on there, so if at home you guys were doing this, you could just use a regular clamp and you didn't have to weld anything. Well, Vinny ground that back down. We can feel that it's smooth and round, so he did a great job there. Sometimes when you cut these off, you're going to have some sharp edges up in there. You just take you a file it around. Originally, I had put in the wrong pipe inside there, and I couldn't fasten it correctly, but I found another problem that I should show you in this video. So before I show you the correct parts to use on this particular scenario that's going to make it simpler for you, anytime you're working on exhaust, you want to make sure you don't create more problems for yourself than necessary. So in this situation, self-tappers. We need to put some self-tappers in there. We're definitely not going to want to live with that. Doing that, it's because the exhaust is contacting this. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail on this particular scenario, but when the exhaust touches the body, it's going to transfer. You don't want that. Never want that. It's very important to watch for that. So we're back at it again. The next day, we got some different parts. We got what they had at the auto parts store. This would have been better if this was a 6-inch, but this is a 10-inch long, 2.5-inch ID pipe that once we take some emery cloth, we believe we'll slide over the top of this. We'll be able to clamp it here. We're going to have to cut down this area right here, but we're going to put this front part on first before we decide where to cut this exhaust at. Then we're not able to use our hanger in the location that it's at. I'm gonna have to move that. You have hangers that you can use self-drilling screws to affix to the bottom of the car.
How do I know? Because I seen them at AutoZone.
But I'll bet you this is pretty solid once we put this flex pipe in here. But if you don't use the hanger, then it's going to ruin this flex pipe prematurely. So you want the exhaust to be hung as well as possible.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Plus, while I was underneath this thing, I realized that either the exhaust manifold is cracked or the catalytic converter's cracked. Something's going on underneath this, because this is not the only leak to this car, but this was busted. More than likely, this busted because whatever's underneath there is broken too. So we're going to put this on here. We've got some emery cloth. We're going to clean it up because it won't slide on quite as easy as it slides on here. So we just grab a little bit of this, run it around there, clean it up. We should be able to get that pipe to slide right on. This clamp down, we'll cut this to where this slides up into here to right about there. Should be good to go. So if you get that pipe on there square and straight and you use a little man jingling on that thing, it should slide right on. A little bit of man jingling, good and straight. Actually did better than him, myself. There we go. Oh yeah, man jingling. Slides right in there. Now we cut it pretty short, so you want to make sure that you put it up on here first, because this end you can wiggle, and then that's going to travel down here. We also emery clothed this end. We didn't put any penetrant on it this time, but as we wiggle it, it's going to slide up in there, and that's exactly what we want. We've got a nice solid exhaust. Now we're ready to put on our clamps, and hopefully it's quiet. Now, what you want to do when you go to do this is you want to make sure that this is not on that shoulder right there. If it's on that shoulder, it's not going to seal up because it's going to be gapped right here.
Right. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Do you have,
I didn't say anything, though.
Do you have ratcheting?
No, but you can do it with that. I'll go get one, but by the time I come back out with it, you're going to be done.
Fucking spoil.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have got, oh, I should have told him, shouldn't I? I knew when I watched, if he would have just spun it this way, he could have just went zip, zip.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Yeah, he could loosen up the bolt, loosen up the nut, and spin it. But he's not going to do that because now he's embarrassed because he's on film.
Shut up.
Then he came all the way from California to learn at the Clayway. That's what he did. He's going to realize, he's going to have the foresight. I can already tell. This kid's going to be a badass someday, even though he does not want to work on cars and would rather write copyright. So I don't understand, because that's no fun whatsoever. There he goes. I did tell him when he came here, he said he didn't like working on cars. He said he didn't like working on cars. I told him that's because he didn't know how and he wasn't taught by the right person. So it's okay working on cars when you actually know how to do it. Great job, Vinny. Now I'm quite certain it's not going to leak here, but it's probably going to leak up there. So if it sounds a little bit loud, you can put your hands by the clamps until they get hot and see. Vinny's going to stir it up and we'll know right away. But I don't think it's going to leak. Could leak up here. This feels like I could have used one of them transition clamps, but it should still be okay. Oh yeah. Tiny little bit of leak right here. And that's probably where we should use them transition clamps that go from 2 ID, 2.5 ID to 2.5 OD. Now here's the thing that you need to pay attention to when you're working on exhaust. If any portion of the exhaust is allowed to hit the frame, it's going to transfer through the pedal and you're going to feel it. So if you ever have a slight vibration and when you shut your engine off, you don't have that vibration, it's because your exhaust is touching the body. That's the one downfall of him moving this clamp to this position right here, is there's not enough space to get my finger in between there. So that's going to transfer energy through there, but that's okay because I'm going to take this clamp off and I'm going to try to put on one of my other clamps that were down in the description below and use that to see if I can make this transition so this seals up, because down here on this edge I can get my finger up underneath there, unlike this edge where it's flat and smooth around here.
Absolute worst thing about working on exhaust is not knowing how and why you're doing something and not knowing the correct sizes. I am very carpentry challenged, Clay, and yes, I ordered the wrong parts, but once I completed the video, I had the right parts in there. So what I ended up using was 2.5-inch ID to 2.5-inch OD transition stainless steel clamps on both ends, and a 10-inch pipe. Now, the pipe can be 6 to 8 to 10 inches long. It really depends on where you cut that exhaust. And you need to think about it before you cut that exhaust, what's going to work the best for you so you're successful. And you only have to get underneath that car one time.
Good, no leaks. So we're good to go. Now, just because you don't tighten these all the way up into these seats right here, what you want to check is make sure that it's sealed down all around here and really nice and tight. If you can get your finger up underneath there, you don't have it tight enough. It's okay if you make the marks in there. You can see where the two pipes join together. That's why that step bracket is pretty good. But list down in the description just what they had at our store. Make sure nothing's contacting the metal and you're good to go.
Remember, the only time to be a conversation starter is when you're actually in the room. Don't be the next to them, be the first to you, and if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. Look me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook Messenger. If you got a question, I'll answer it for absolutely free. At least we'll try. Most of the time, I'm successful. Probably 50-50. Consider subscribing, clicking the notification, sharing the videos, and give me them sweet old thumbs up. Keep away from the baby mama drama. God bless and have the best of days.